And I'm Julianne Lina, glad to have you with us. The astronauts from the Artemis 2 mission are coming home after their historic lunar flyby. The four-person mission was a successful test flight around the moon. During the trip, astronauts traveled about 250,000 miles from Earth, beating Apollo 13's 1970 record. Artemis 2 astronauts also underwent a 40-minute communications blackout, one of the longest blackouts in astronaut history. The astronauts should arrive on Earth this Friday, April 10th. A Plum Canyon resident watched a firework explode just steps from her yard. What she saw wasn't a show, but what she feels is a threat. Now, arrests are following the flash. In the blink of an eye, a sudden explosion turned a quiet Plum Canyon night into chaos. And it happened just steps away from Lily Chang's backyard.
I was actually sitting here watching TV, and all of a sudden, I just heard this really, really loud explosion. It was so loud, I actually feel the window vibrate. So I immediately went outside, and so I saw the fire.
For residents like Lily, the danger is no longer just about noise. It's about safety. Years of fireworks in the area feet away from her backyard have sparked brush fires, shaken homes, and pushed families to their limit.
And I'm not talking about smoke bombs and Piccolo Petes. I'm talking about mortars that are launched off at 1 a.m. and the explosions are loud enough to wake every household in the community.
What began as a fireworks stunt has now exploded into felony charges. One teen is out with citation and another still behind bars at the SUV sheriff's station, held on $75,000 bail. Detectives were led straight to Valencia High, where deputies arrested a 17-year-old. Not long after, 18-year-old Cameron Tucker was in cuffs. Tucker did say sorry, but for Chang, the damage was already done.
And I wanted to apologize. I was the one that lit off that pretty big firework, and I just wanted to say I'm sorry that I...
Well, it's a little late, you know that.
Those kids, what they're doing, I mean, they can just basically burn down this whole actually the entire Santa Clarita. Look, the Palisade fire.
They're illegal for a reason. You can now not only hurt yourself, but you can hurt someone else. You can start a fire that could potentially endanger people's lives in homes.
Binoculars in hand, Lily scans the hills from her balcony, doing her best to protect her community so disaster doesn't strike again. And welcome to another episode of In Focus. I'm your host, Julianne Lina. Today we are spotlighting Dr. Mei-Ling Malone, an assistant professor of African American Studies here at Cal State Fullerton. Dr. Malone's work centers on urban education, social justice, and equity, bridging scholarship with community engagement. As a mentor, advisor, and other many things, she's committed to uplifting student voices and creating meaningful change, both inside and outside the classroom. Dr. Malone, thank you so much for joining us.
It's an honor to be here.
And we are so excited to have you here, so let's get right to it. On college campuses, keeping up with trends can feel essential. But for many students, that means turning to fast fashion. Cheap prices and quick shipping make it convenient, but many items are worn just a few times then thrown away, adding to waste and overconsumption. But some students are looking for an alternative. At flea markets and thrift stores, shoppers are choosing affordable options while stepping away from the fast fashion cycle.
Again, the whole thing with thrifting, I see a lot of people who are like very into fashion and they're buying things secondhand, or they're like reusing things, or they're, you know, taking things from their own wardrobe and like their old clothes and they're upcycling it into something new.
For students, it's a way to save money while also building a style that feels personal.
I think if they complement each other, different articles of clothing, if they complement each other well, then you could definitely have your own personality of style without spending too much.
At the Silver Lake Flea Market, vendors are selling more than just clothes. They're giving them a second chance. At every booth, each hanger holds more than just an outfit. They hold a past life. And every purchase here directly supports local vendors.
The other day, one of my vendors told me he had osteoporosis, the bone thing, and he told me if it wasn't for you constantly buying from me, I wouldn't be able to get my medication.
Along with affordability, secondhand shopping offers what fast fashion can't: the freedom to create.
Going to thrift stores where they're charging $3 to $5, and that was just for my own stuff. Now, obviously, it's harder, but There's always a way to express. When there's a will, there's a way. I mean, this beanie, I got it for $2, and over a year, I've just thrown random patches that I've got for $5 at like punk shows and stuff.
For students on a budget, secondhand shopping offers a practical option: lower prices, unique pieces, and less waste. So before you click add to cart, consider what you might find when you take the time to look. Reporting for Titan News, I'm Julianne Lina.